Hello, greetings, family and friends. How are we doing on this Venus day, on this Friday? My mat is not positioned correctly. Um, I have something fun today. Well, everything is fun, but well, actually, not everything is fun, but the overcoming of it eventually makes you realize that at the end of the day, shit is actually really hilarious. But that's kind of the energy that we're coming in today. I had a couple of very intense days, I'm not gonna lie, like very intense. I just opened the door on some inner stuff, old stuff, and I just sat with it and I was like, "No, we're not gonna let this sit there forever. It has to come out and be, processed and metabolized eventually." So this is what I did. It was very taxing and it was very exhausting. But now we're here. Now we are here. And I'm so excited. Today, we are talking about I can't even see what I wrote anymore, but we're talking about the end of energetic poverty. The end of energetic poverty and the rise of our inner genius. Ding, 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 ding. This is what we're talking about today. Now, when we talk about, well, first of all, we'll talk about the end of energetic poverty, the rise of our inner genius, and I'm going to, by the end of this live, also share with you ways in which to stabilize in order to access that inner genius and to really get this process going. And no, it's not for you to, uh, you know, add another 10-step routine in the morning and hustle even harder. Okay? But you're gonna have to do it. Anyway, so when I speak about energetic poverty, what am I speaking about? I talk about spiritual poverty. I talk about an unconscious of the spiritual realm, and unconscious of the energetic realm, right? So when we are in that state where we simply look at the material world and just like the things that we see like immediately, if we take that as the only reality there is, that is a form of poverty. Why? Because the world is more than that, right? The world is more than that. The material world only makes up, I don't even know how much. It's like less than 2%, maybe even less than 1% of what actually is. Okay. So it starts there. But I know it can seem quite abstract when I say it like that. So let us get into how it actually shows in our life. So if you know me, my goal for this, my goal for you, my goal for me and you, my goal for working with you in this context is I want to help you bring out the genius into the world. You were gifted with something, you were planted something inside of your soul that was done so because this was needed in the world. You have a reason why you came. You have a reason why you came, and it is important for you to tap into it because we need it. We need it from you. Okay. So, this is what my goal is for all of this. I want to help you bring this out. And it starts with awareness, as so often it does. And awareness of what? It's awareness, first and foremost, of the fact that what we see in the material world is not everything, right? So, what that leads to often is that very popular too. We have these notions of success. We think success looks a certain way. We think that success means, you know, even if we have graduated from not looking at traditional jobs or like a traditional career trajectory, even if we've graduated from not looking at that as the ultimate thing anymore, and that was now replaced with pictures of, last 10 years we've seen people on Instagram, on YouTube, just like shooting through the roof, you know what I mean, making so much money, living here and there, have driving these cars, flying private, you know what I mean? It's like we see all of this. So even if we have graduated from not looking at the old way of a career as the type of career anymore, We're while still looking at this Instagram world, we still haven't reached. We still haven't reached. 'Cause I like to say, this other world is just an illusion. You know what I mean? Like, we looked at it at some point, myself included, right? We looked at it at some point and we're like, "Yeah, this is freedom." You see? You're like, I don't have to do what everybody did. I don't have to do the study, get married, buy a house, get a career." You know what I mean? Like, I graduated from that. This is the freedom. So now we thought that what we saw then was freedom. We see all the success, we see all the people living on their own terms, or so we think. We see that and we now think that that is success. And of course, it's connected to a huge audience, huge reach, big numbers in terms of eyeballs, right? So, somewhere along the lines, this has become synonymous with success. And then you can break it down into different industries and different fields of practice, even of art, of creativity, where people apply some form of this picture of what success means to what success means for them, right? And then obviously, because it's something that you can take a picture of, you can see this is the material world that you are referring to, that you are looking at as success. And what I'm hinting at today is that if we're not aware of that, that can leave us running and chasing after things that are just not real. But I don't think that's even really the point. The point is like, let's come back to your inner genius. Let's come back to the thing that makes you, right? This is the perspective that we don't see, and also we can't see, because nobody can take a picture of your genius and then show it back to you because it is inherently in you. But why it can be so helpful to have this awareness that these pictures, that we are well advised to be careful with what we define as success for ourselves. We are well advised to be careful with what we define as success. And now, coming back to energetic poverty, spiritual poverty, this happens, this state of inner poverty happens when we ignore or we're simply not aware, right? It's not a judgment thing. It's literally just awareness. Everything I'm talking about is just about bringing awareness as much as possible, as much as I can. If we are not aware of that, then we can end up feeling like we don't have anything to offer. We can end up feeling like we can never make it there. We haven't even defined for ourselves what there is. We're still running after a picture of what there is. And we can end up just feeling like there's no place for us in the world, right? Because all the greats are out there. They're already doing it. And because my life does not look like that at this moment, there's just no place for me. So we can end up feeling like that. And that is the state of energetic poverty that I'm speaking of. That is the state of spiritual poverty that I'm speaking of, because you're simply not aware of the wealth that is in your possession. You're simply not aware of the wealth that you have been sent with, that resides in you, and that was meant to find its way into the world to then gift the world, to exponentially grow the wealth, right? And have it materialized. So what happens in this state of us not being aware of it, and maybe one or the other person can relate to this. We are and then actually we all see this. If you look at whole of YouTube, if you look at whole of this whole self-help um bulk of work, which ironically my channel is positioned right in the middle of, right? If you look at all of that, have you ever noticed how your chest gets tight and you start to feel a sense of overwhelm? You see this video, and you see that, and you see this, and you see that. It's so much. It's so much we're supposed to do. It's so many strategies we're supposed to apply. It's so many, right? But here's the thing, if we don't understand, if we don't in the first place know that we come with something already, this something already knows how it wants to make itself known in the world. We actually just have to listen to it and then start to add the puzzle pieces as we go. If we don't know that, then also every piece of information out there looks equally important, looks equally attractive, looks equally potentially helpful, right? So this is now how we feel overwhelmed because we don't know what applies to us. We don't even know that there's such thing as something does apply to us. The truth is that there is a million and more ways of making it. There's a million ways and more, infinite ways of making money. There's an infinite ways of, you know, finding clients, finding customers. There's an infinite way of doing that. But unless we come really close, unless we get really close with the thing that has its own agenda in us, we're going to be clueless about which one to pick. So the way this often shows is we are likely or like we're more vulnerable to falling prey to like just schemes, you know. You hear someone say, "Oh, if you do it like this, you do it like that." We're more likely to fall into that. And really at the end of the day what we do is we sell ourselves short. We sell the things short that we were gifted with. We sell the thing short that really has its own life and its own intelligence from deep within. Did I jump too much into the genius thing? Look at the other videos I made. The other video, the one before this where I speak about genius and how your genius wants to come into the world. I will be elaborating this whole idea more in the future anyway, but this is what I'm referring to if you're asking yourself. So, yeah, like when we are not aware, then this whole state of feeling like what is it called? Imposter syndrome and feeling like a scam somehow. I'm kind of making this up. This is not really real. You know what I mean? Like if we don't operate from our inner genius and having that as the guiding force, we're always going to feel somehow like that because and in a way it's true because we're trying to take strategies, we're trying to take goals that are not even goals. What is hashtag goals even? Hashtag goals, like at best on you see a couple and then you write goals. What is that? That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, of do I understand the sentiment? And is it fun? No, but at the end of the day, it doesn't make any sense, guys. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like, if it did, I wouldn't even say anything, Like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, and it's harmful. And if it wasn't harmful, then again, I wouldn't be saying this, but it's really not the way. It's really not the way. It's really not the way. We have to find our own thing, and our own thing is not out there. Our own thing is not out there somewhere. It's nothing that another person knows better than me. Or for you, your own thing is nothing that somebody else knows better than you. How? How would that even be possible? You know what's in you. Even if you don't know now, you know what's in you. The thing in you knows. So, unless we make that our guiding force, we're going to be in a state of energetic poverty, spiritual poverty. And then from that state of poverty, we're going to be scheming. Then we're scheming and we're thinking maybe I tried this, maybe I tried that. And you see how people I've done that too. How you then start this side project, you start that project, you start this, maybe this is the way, maybe that is the way, maybe this is the way, maybe that is the way. What is the outcome? You're burnt out. you're, you're burnt out. So honestly, like if you are in a space where like genuinely you look at this and you're still like, no, you know what I mean? I want to go after this. This is what I want. There is no judgment. There's no judgment. The love that I have for you is the same as I have for everybody else. There's no judgment. You, it just means that you still have to create enough experiences to eventually be like, okay, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? But this message here, this channel here is for people who have, generally speaking, already been through that cycle, that they already have reached their material goals. They already went through their career. They already did all these things and they reached good positions. They made cute money, you know what I mean? They already are living the life that they want to live, like from the outside. They're traveling, doing this, doing that. You know what I mean? Like those are people that have already reached it. To then come realize that, nah, nah, right? Eh, eh, maybe there's more. Maybe there's more. So, this is for you. It's the people who are genuinely like they're okay. They don't have to run after that anymore. And because of that, because of having that experience, like you're now more open to doing what is actually calling you. So, yeah, this is for you. So, yeah, and you have been in that situation. And again, everything I'm talking about, everything I'm telling you, everything comes from firsthand experience. I only speak from firsthand experience. So yeah, I know what it's like to, even though I have always been someone who has been pretty locked in and always had very clear values, you know what I mean? But still fear creeps in, survival mentality creeps in if you haven't healed that and worked on that, and then you just look into the world and you just try to do everything and you try to ace everything and you apply everything and then things kind of work, but again, one is but then also you're worked down to your bones, you're just like burnt out, right? So you can't really maintain it. And then the question really comes back to, but why am I doing this? Like, is this worth it? Is this what I'm doing this for? Right? Even if I have my milestones, I have my success cases, you know? So, let's get to the point that is more practical in all of this. How can we end energetic poverty? How can we end spiritual poverty? How can we help our inner genius rise? How can we assist it as opposed to trying to find it so we can monetize it? That's self prostitution. I thought I would be more shocked when I said this about what I said. But I'm not shocked at all. I don't feel shocked about it because that's what it is. If you just take your inner gifts just to somehow monetize from a perspective of energetic poverty, you're selling yourself short. That's inner self prostitution, right? That's gonna leave you feel empty and not good with yourself. I don't know how I just got there, but let's get back to how to access it and bring it to the world with honor. And this was not me shaming sex work. Am I allowed to say that on here? I don't know. Yeah, but to be clear on that, right? This is not what that was about. So, how can we bring out our genius? How can we end energetic poverty? How can we end spiritual poverty? How can we assist our genius as opposed to trying to exploit it? How quick can we assist it in the way that honors it according to its nature? Let's say it like that. How can we do that? There's a card in a tarot deck that it shows like beggars that are outside of the church. And I remember pulling this. This is like 2021 in Ghana. I remember pulling this and tears streamed down my face because the message that came through for me was just, you are already richer. You're already richer. And I just, in that moment, I just understood. I just innately understood because, like at that time, I was traveling. I was being in a place I love being in. I started working on projects in the creative industries. I was working with a law firm, like doing like fun stuff. You know what I mean? Like I was doing things that I really wanted to do, and still I was feeling empty. I was feeling like just in inner turmoil, right? And I remember pulling that card, and then the message that came through, like just like a thunderbolt, was just, "You already richer." And this is kind of the energy I'm hinting at now. This is also why I speak so much of awareness when it comes to all of this, just like consciousness. You are already richer. You already are. It doesn't matter. I'm speaking to you if you are literally behind rent. And I'm speaking to you if you are like cashing crazy paychecks and you're on just another trip right now. I'm speaking to you too. We are already all of us, we're already richer than we think. There's more to our richness than what we see on the outside. There's more to our wealth than what we can see, you know? And that already is the first step that I'm giving you. But of course, I'm not trying to hint at an intellectual understanding and now you're just running off and you're like using affirmations to be like, I'm already rich, I'm already rich, I'm already rich. If it helps you, use it. But it's giving this it's giving this reality a chance to enter our consciousness. It's allowing it the chance to enter, allowing this idea a chance to enter. This is where it's at. Allow this idea a chance to enter. That there's more to you than just the immediate things that you can see right now. And when we speak about being able to assist our genius, I said in the other video, genius is nothing that we grow or develop. Genius is perfect, coherent, and exists right from the start, from the moment we were born. You know what that implies? There's not much you have to do. There's not much you have to, like, literally, physically, material like, do to grow it. The idea is that it already exists. It is already there. There's so much wisdom, there's so much knowledge, there's so much game that's already sitting inside of you. But because you're so preoccupied with, labeling the reality that you're in now, it's like, I'm like this, and this is like this, and this is like this, it has no chance to enter your perception. It has no chance to enter. The idea doesn't have anywhere to even land, it doesn't have any chance to enter. So when we want to give that more space, this is actually, we want to give it more space. So what do we do? Stillness. Stillness. Stop everything you're doing for a moment. Stillness. Sit. Be with your breath. Look at your breath. This is what you want to be doing more and more and more of, more prolonged times in your day. You can start with a small amount of time, then you can work your way up. But this right here is the space you're going to need in order for the thing that is already in you to like slowly start feeling safe with you. Slowly gonna start feeling safe with you. That's just you starting to feel safe with yourself. But but this is how you're creating the conditions for it. So the mindset that we want to adopt here is not to rush more, or I'm not giving you just another task like the whole world is giving you. Right? I'm not doing that. I'm trying to tell you the opposite. Strip things away. Let things be. We don't even have to fight things. We just have to stop feeding them the things that we want anymore. Stop feeding it. Neutrality is your friend. It really is. It really, really is. It might not look like that in the beginning, but it really is. And in that state, right, when you can come to more stillness, when you can come to more awareness of your breath, you're now creating the space for which your inner genius can like slowly start to feel at home and how it's supposed to be, right? This is how you from within start to build the connection between you and it, right? This is how you do it. Again, I was going to say the mindset, and the mindset here is patience rather than rushing, allowing patience, and to know that patience is not a sign of weakness, is not a sign of accepting defeat. It's not you losing. Patience as a form of stabilizer. Ooh, I like that. Patience as a form of stabilizer. Patience as a stabilizer. You know what you do with patience? With patience, you just, can you feel this? You grow. You grow the space. You grow the space. Something happens to you that you don't like, stick to it. Don't give it meaning. Don't feed it. Stay with it. Stick with it. You're growing a space. You're growing a space. You're growing a space. So, yeah, this is the message of today. This is the message of today. You're already richer. You are already richer. And in order to materialize that, it all depends on how clearly you can see it. And you're not going to see it by looking into the world. You're going to see that by looking into yourself. Because the richness that I'm speaking of is the one that you were born with. It's the genius that you came into this world with. That is the real richness. That is the richness you actually want to design and create your life around. That is the richness that can help you build a livelihood around it if you can honor it in the long run, right? If you don't exploit it. But the inner value that you have right from the second that you're here, even before, like define here, right? The innate value, the innate worth that you come with without having to do anything is what is here for you to allow into your consciousness. And you do that by choosing stillness, by choosing patience. And the piece that I, as an outsider, can offer you, the one piece, because I'm always telling you the answers are in you. But what I can offer you from the outside is that if you follow this practice, your inner wisdom is going to connect and is going to grow. And things will be louder and more clear as you move. Okay. So, this is how we end energetic poverty by becoming aware of the truth of what we are. And this ultimately is how our genius is starting to feel connected and activated. And then we can take it from there. That was today's live. I hope you had fun. I hope you could take a couple things with you for the weekend and beyond. If you like this message, like the video, comment, share, help me spread this message. Okay? It's needed. The world desperately needs to wake up and understand the wealth that they inherently possess and that the world desperately needs for them to bring out and gift the world with, because we got a lot of work to do. I love you guys. I'll see you in the next live and see you soon.